What's going on, everybody? Free to play OG here, and today I am pumped to be bringing you our ultimate free to play and new player guide to legendary battles in Marvel Future Fight. Today's video, we're going to be going over legendary battles and how they work. First, quick tutorial for our new players. Then we'll be going over each legendary battle and the contents of it, specifically the premium and rarer items that you can get from each pack and how those break down. And then we'll go over a ranking of all the legendary battles according to me at the end. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then you're in the right place, my friends. Let's go ahead and get into it. So we're going to start with a quick overview of legendary battles and how they work. All players have access to all 13 legendary battles from the get-go of their account, and you should jump right into these when you first start. The normal tracks of the legendary battle, many of them give you a free character right out the gate. Like this one will give you a 1-star Spectrum right when you start the legendary battle. So it's a great place for new players to get in and start getting some rewards really early on. So everybody has access to the normal track. You can come in and complete these challenges early on your account. It's very nice. You'll mostly avoid these ones that require uniforms to complete for the most part. And then the other thing to note about these is the extreme track. So each battle, except for one, has an extreme upgrade that you can get. You pay a amount of crystals up front. There will be a rebate through challenges, or in some of them, some other kind of funny business that we'll talk about. And then you get access to the extreme mode of this story. And you can play through it and complete these challenges for better rewards. And in these tracks, there will be premium rewards that you can unlock through character advancement or uniform leveling. And these rewards are choice rewards, and these ones are the ones you're going to be after when purchasing these packs. All right, so that's how a legendary battle works. Let's talk about all the legendary battles and how they break down with their various rewards. And to do that, instead of clicking through all these menus a million times, we're going to head over to, you guessed it, an infographic. So let's head over to our first one here. And we are going to start by taking a look at the Marvel's legendary battle that we were just looking at in game. Now, before we start breaking all these down, the way I did this is we'll talk about the rebate first and how it works for each pack. And then I just listed the premium items and rarer items from the packs that you can't get by just playing the game. You won't find the 6-star obelisks, the Norn Stones of Chaos, and other things like that that you can unlock through the pack. In here, this is so you can have a quick look at the valuable items in each pack, what you're paying for with your... All right, so looking at this first one, you pay 2,500 crystals up front. You get a 500 crystal rebate, no funny business. You just have to do some challenges in the story. And then the chase item is the CTP of Rage in this one. And you're able to get that by leveling or advancing Captain Marvel to tier 3. And that'll get you your CTP of Rage. The Radiant runes here, this uniform is currently not top meta, as Scarlet Witch is better for that day with her uniform at tier 4, but Captain Marvel does a very good job for free to play and new players, and this uniform is her current uniform. So this can be an opportunity to use a character that you were going to get and build up anyways to grab both of these rewards. You can also get a 4-star Spectrum artifact from this by getting Spectrum Transcended Potential. Not a very appealing reward, but it is rare, so it's in here. And a level 6 advanced potential enhancement ticket by taking Miss Marvel Kamala Khan to tier 3. And that sums up that pack. Next, we'll take a look at Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania. This one is a 2,500 crystal pack, 500 crystal rebate, no funny business, just challenges. The chase item is the CTP of Insight. And with this pack, you can see, instead of just advancing a character to tier 3, you have to get a uniform and take it to Mythic, right? Well, in this case, this is a uniform that is not good. So this becomes a bit of a bummer. In a case like this, you're looking at more of a 2,875 crystal CTP, as you would get this preferably on a 50% discount like the anniversary, and then have to level it up to Mythic to get your CTP of Insight. You can also get a second potential realization ticket here. It's the same thing with a mythic uniform, unfortunately, but with this uniform, Wasps is actually somewhat relevant as she's used in PvP, and this is her best uniform that you have to level for this item. You also can get Wasp's 4-star artifact, which again is not an incredibly appealing item, but it is rare. So being able to target it is something to note. And you can also get a MODOK icon by taking MODOK to tier 3. Moving on to Wakanda for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. 2,500 crystals, 500 crystal rebate, just standard there. But if you look at the chase item here, the CTP of Destruction, this requires you to get Namor to tier 3. And Namor is a premium character. And that poses some issues here. This then actually becomes a cost of 2,000 crystals. Locating Namor, whether that's a premium chest or a premium tier 2 selector, and then if it isn't a premium tier 2 selector, using a mega tier 2 advancement ticket to get him to tier 2 to advance him to tier 3. So there's actually a heavy cost tied in here to this CTP of Destruction, and that's worth pointing out. The second potential realization ticket here is tied to a mythic uniform for a semi-premium character in Ironheart. But this uniform is a great support uniform for a great support character in Ironheart. So it's a little more appealing, a little easier to get this. The 4-star Shuri artifact is kind of the same thing. Not a particularly appealing artifact from what I understand. But you only need a tier 3 Shuri, which you're likely to have anyways. So just a bonus. And then you can get the Ironheart Riri Williams icon by taking Ironheart to Transcended Potential. Next, we'll talk about Thor Love and Thunder, 2,500 crystals, 500 crystal rebate. Chase items, a CTP of Greed here. And to get that, you need a tier 3 Jane Foster. Not a lot of funny business here. Really easy character to get, really nice CTP. You can get a level 6 Advanced Potential Realization ticket, or Enhancement ticket, excuse me, by taking Valkyrie to Transcendent Potential. And again, this is nice because this is something most accounts are going to do anyways, one way or the other. So this comes to your account pretty easily. You can get Thor's 4-star artifact here. And this is very nice because this takes a tier 3 Thor. So advancing the character that you need the artifact for is tied to it. And this is a character a lot of accounts utilize. And Thor's artifact makes it so lightning resistance actually contributes to his damage. And his leadership is a large amount of lightning resistance. Thus, having this artifact gives him a self-buffing leadership by having it, as well as converting other lightning resistance damage. So quite nice. And then you can also get the Love and Thunder icon by leveling the Jane Foster Love and Thunder uniform to Mythic. All right, moving on to our next set of 4 here. We are going to talk about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This pack is where things start to get interesting. You can see I put an asterisk on this one. And with any of the ones that have funny business with the crystal rebate, I mapped it out on the card. But with this one, it's slightly different. Chase item is your CTP of Judgment. Unfortunately, to get that, you need Shang-Chi's mythic Legend of the Ten Rings uniform, which is no longer relevant. And the crystals that are tied to a challenge are also tied to that uniform. So 150 of the crystal rebate is actually tied up to leveling a uniform in this battle, but it is the uniform that you would be leveling anyways to get the CTP. So I just put an asterisk on this one. You can also get a level 6 advanced potential ticket here by taking Shang-Chi to tier 3. You can get a Wenwu icon by just doing a challenge, actually. In this one, all you have to do is one of the challenges, you get the icon. And then this is a weird one. The first potential realization ticket here by getting Katie's gears 20 amplified Uru slots. And this is costly. This is just not a very good item for a lot of gold. It's kind of mid at best. Moving on to Black Widow, 2,500 in crystals. And this is where we get into the funny business. This is a 350 crystal read. This is not 500. It's going to list it as 500. It's a lie. Some of these crystals are tied behind leveling Black Widow's old uniform to legendary. So basically, you're looking at spending, at the best of times, 875 crystals for 150 crystals in return. That is not a good deal. So just consider it a 350 crystal rebate unless you already have that uniform. And moving on, we got the CTP of Insight as the chase item. This is another odd one that's worth talking about for a sec. The Taskmaster uniform for years now has been considered a great uniform, kind of a must buy. But with the anniversary coming up in 2 weeks, we have the Thunderbolts update coming, which may very well have a new uniform for Taskmaster, and it may make this uniform obsolete. So it may go from being a really nice proposition where you've got a uniform that you were going to pick up anyways to get your CTP of Insight, into one where you need to get Taskmaster's old uniform to get the CTP of Insight. So we'll just see how that plays out, but fair warning to anyone looking at this, keep in mind that Taskmaster may be getting a new uniform soon. You can also get a level 6 advanced potential ticket here by taking Red Guardian to Transcended Potential. And you can get the Black Widow icon by taking Black Widow to Tier 3. Next, we'll take a look at Spider-Man Far From Home. 2,500 crystals with a 300 crystal rebate. And the only item you're after in this pack is the CTP selector. And as this is the first CTP selector we're going to talk about from these, let's talk about this particular selector. It is not good. In fact, we're going to swap back over to the game here really quick for just a moment so we can actually take a look in it, because I want people to see this, and of course you can look at it for yourself. But when I say this selector is limited, I mean this selector is limited. You are really looking basically at an energy or a rage selector. There may be the niche person that's after an egg or, I don't know, a destruction, I don't know, or something, but almost everyone who goes after this would be after the CTP of rage or the CTP of energy. There's no judgments, there's no insights, there's no conquest, none of that, because all of those CTPs came into the game long after this pack. So that's something I just wanted to make very clear to everyone, and visually show you what is in the CTP selectors there, because they are very limited to say the least. And then the other thing of note here is that 200 of the crystals for this 500 crystal rebate are actually gated behind a level 70 Mysterio. Not the hardest thing in the world to achieve. Tons of people are already going to have that, but really annoying if you don't have that to have to go through leveling Mysterio from 60 to 70 to get your other 200 crystals. So thought I would point that out on the card here. Next, let's talk about Avengers Endgame. This one is super simple. 2,500 crystals, 500 crystal rebate, CTP of Rage for taking Thanos to rank 3 type enhancement. That's it. Easy peasy, simple as that. The only thing about this that adjusts whether it's good or bad, I guess, compared to other ones, is that for new accounts, this does mean you do have to build up Thanos in order to increase his type enhancement to get your CTP of Rage. So in a way, that's an additional cost to this. For example, it might be a little easier for some accounts to just go ahead and get this and take Spider-Man to rank 3 type enhancement, which I forgot to mention by the way. Selector, as he's a much easier character to get his type enhancement up, get the selector, get a rage here. Up to you to decide. All right, we got one more full slide of legendary battles here to take a look at. And as you can see, as we go back in time, the desirable rewards inside these packs seem to diminish, don't they? All right, so looking at Captain Marvel here, this one again is very, very straightforward and very, very stinky. You've got a 2,500 crystal pack with a 500 crystal rebate. Rank 3 type enhancement on Captain Marvel gets you a CTP of regeneration. So this is essentially 2,000 crystals for a CTP of regeneration. It's okay. It's not very good at all. There you go. Next, we'll talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp, and this is our other selector. It is the same limited selector as the Spider-Man Far From Home pack. This is also 2,500 crystals with a 500 crystal rebate. No funny business. You simply need to get a Giant Man's PYMTRON uniform, a heroic, in order to unlock your CTP selector. And that's really what you're looking at here. 2,875 crystals with a 50% discount to get a CTP selector, which is likely going to be a Rage or an Energy. Next, we'll talk about Avengers Infinity War, and this one's a little weird. And I'll break this down here instead of on our ranking list, where it's also relevant again. This pack is 2,500 crystals with a 500 crystal rebate, standard there. But what's inside of it is interesting. This first premium card is New Avengers number 9. And it is, to my knowledge, the best PvP premium card that is available to free-to-play players. There is one other premium card for PvP that is not available to free-to-play players that is arguably better or as good. Anyways, this pack is not exceptional if you don't want this card specifically. This pack is just 2,000 crystals for an 875 crystal uniform purchase for a P card and an 875 crystal uniform purchase for a CTP of refinement, right? Which isn't the worst pack, but isn't great either. This would be an expensive way to get a P card to reroll. Not the worst, but not great. However, if you are the person out there who is building a PvP set of cards and you just cannot get your hands on New Avengers number 9, this is a great way to target it and specifically get New Avengers number 9. Just want to throw that out there. It's a little more expensive than finding it in the dispatch shop on discount from the secret reward or whatever, once you buy enough in the shop. But that's still RNG, random chance. So really what this pack offers is it allows you to isolate this one card that is very good for certain PvP, for PvP players. And that pretty much sums up its entire value. Moving on, we got Black Panther here, the original Black Panther pack. This one is a little quirky. This one is 3,300 crystals with a 600 crystal rebate. But you also get Black Panther's legendary uniform here thrown in the mix as well when you purchase the pack. So oddly, basically, instead of telling you, we'll give you the pack for 2,000 crystals, then you have to go buy this uniform for 875 crystals. This is basically saying, we'll give you the pack for 2,700 crystals with the P card. It's just a really weird way to structure it. It just like forces you to have this and pay for it up front. But this P card is not one you would equip generally. It is a reroll P card for almost every situation. So it's a bit steep, a bit expensive for a P card reroll. And then you can also get a CTP of Energy here, but Killmonger is a semi-premium character. You have to either get him through Dimension missions or other premium character acquisition methods, and you can get a CTP of Energy doing that. All right, guys, one more slide to look at, and this is going to be, that was 12 battles we just went through. There's one more to look at, and this slide's also going to have our ranking of the legendary battles. Drumroll, please. Moving on to the Thor Ragnarok legendary battle, the OG, the original legendary battle. This one is weird, folks. This one has no cost. It has no extreme pack. It's the only one that's like that. There is no upfront cost. You simply have to get these uniforms, get them to heroic, and you can get yourself these items. That's all there is to it. Nothing to unlock. This is available to everybody. And I definitely will point out to everybody that Hela's uniform here, her Thor Ragnarok uniform, for whatever reason, is discounted at all times. It's cheaper than all these other crystal cost uniforms. And on the anniversary, you can actually get this uniform for 625 crystals, which makes this just a 625 crystal CTP of Energy, and that's some of the best value you are going to see in the game. That is an exceptionally good price for a CTP. 2,000 crystals is generally considered the standard non-discounted price for a CTP. So 625, yes please. You've also got 2 uniforms you can get them at 50% discount. You're looking at 875 crystals for premium card rerolls. I would not equip either of these P cards. They're generally considered some of the less desirable ones, but for rerolling your crafted stats on your premium cards, this is an exceptional way to get some rerolls. 875 crystals each, scoop them up, absolutely fantastic. Now that I'm done glazing this, we can move over to the right and we'll just go through these real quick. Number one out of all of these is going to be Thor Ragnarok. The value here is insane. I knew it was good, but it wasn't until I broke this video down and actually looked at the cost of everything else that I realized just how good the Thor Ragnarok pack is. You can take what you need, leave what you don't want. It's fantastic. We wish all the legendary battles were just like this one. We would all be so happy. Okay, 2, I put the Marvels. 2 and 3 are pretty interchangeable. Some of these are like that. Feel free to leave your list in the comments, argue, trash my list, whatever you want. But I'd say these 2 are kind of interchangeable depending on what you need. You've got the CTP of Rage here, CTP of Greed here, and they both contain some relevant items with the current meta characters in the game. And then here, again, I would say these 2 are a bit kind of interchangeable depending on what you have. If you're just going for a CTP of Rage, and you have Thanos built up with type enhancement, it sort of doesn't matter which way you go. This is a Selector though, so I put it above Avengers Endgame, and also Spider-Man's type enhancement is a little easier to get than Thanos's. Shang-Chi comes in next simply because the CTP of Judgment can't be gotten from any of the Selectors or anything like that. And the rest of the battle, though it's a little weird, is pretty straightforward. Quantum Mania is the same. The CTP of Insight can't be gotten out of the Selectors, so it gets some respect here, even though you have to get a credit uniform in order to get it. Ant-Man and the Wasp next. Another Selector, really straightforward. It's just more expensive than the other Selector, so there it is. Infinity War here. This is the one with the new Avengers number 9. And if you are that one person out there, or those, there's a group of them, the people out there looking to target this card, this goes from being number 9 to whatever, number 1. It's what you're after. If you're chasing that card, being able to get it is amazing. However, I will say most people who are chasing that card know they can get it here and either already have it or have gotten it. Black Widow goes down here at number 10 with the new Taskmaster uni coming out, with the shenanigans around some of the crystals being locked behind a uniform. It's just not a very desirable legendary battle in my humble opinion. Wakanda Forever at number 11 with the double premium characters for chase rewards. It's just kind of a brutal pack, and it's also just a CTP of Destruction, which isn't quite as desirable. Captain Marvel coming in at number 12. Absolutely uneventful and poopy. 2,000 crystals for a CTP of Regen, okay. And then Black Panther coming in dead last, unfortunately, as it's just a wonky pack, and the card in there is simply just a reroll. Whew. All right, my friends. That about wraps it up for the legendary battles. If you're interested in what I'm planning on purchasing, because I know a lot of people will ask, I'm likely going to get both the premium card rerolls out of the Thor Ragnarok battle, the CTP of Energy from the Hela uniform in the Thor Ragnarok battle, and then the Marvels legendary battle. But I'm still kind of going back and forth between Thor Love and Thunder and the Marvels. All right, guys, that wraps it up. If you enjoyed this video or found it informative at all, go ahead and hit that like button for me. Really appreciate it. It helps out a lot. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more guides like this, or if you want to follow along with our live stream series every day at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. I absolutely appreciate every single one of you so much. Thank you, thank you. I'm Olden Gray. This is Free to Play, and I hope you all have a spectacular day.